In 2019, SpongeBob celebrated 20 years since the show debuted on Nickelodeon in 1999, and 1 year after the 20th anniversary special, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated came out, and it came out at the perfect time. It was like a DLC to all the celebratory stuff going on in 2019. It is the ultimate celebration of SpongeBob SquarePants, and here's why. Oh, by the way, the footage in this video is of the mobile version of this game, because I recently livestreamed that version of the game, but I've also played the PS4 version, and the two versions are almost exactly the same anyways, so you guys can consider this a review of both versions, the mobile version and the PS4 version. Okay, to begin, let's talk about the presentation, the music, and the visuals. BFBB Rehydrated is a remake of a SpongeBob console game that came out back in the PS2 days, and although the original game is a cult classic and a masterpiece, its age does kinda show in the graphics. So when the company Purple Lamp created Rehydrated, one of their tasks was updating the graphics of the original game. How did they do? Well, what they did was controversial. Instead of keeping the same exact art style and just giving the game HD graphics, they changed the entire look of the game. The characters were given new models, the game got more saturated visuals, everything was updated to look like modern SpongeBob, which is very cartoony and bright and saturated. Many fans of the original game didn't like this look, but I love it. I think the game has beautiful visuals, and it really does feel like you are getting teleported into the universe of SpongeBob. And as a fan of modern SpongeBob, I see it as a way to combine modern and classic SpongeBob into one thing that celebrates both eras. It's the same iconic game from the classic era, but with modern SpongeBob visuals, which I think is awesome. Oh, speaking of awesome, one of the things the original game is most well known for is its incredible music. This OST is not what you would expect from a licensed kids game, but that's kinda the game's thing, huh? Most licensed kids games suck, but BFBB is not like most of them. Every track in BFBB is dope, and in Rehydrated, they remixed the music to make it sound like it's in stereo, even though it isn't actually in stereo. Some people were kinda disappointed by that. However, it's still the same sick tracks that were on the soundtrack. I don't even care if it's in stereo. Now the story. The plot of this game is very SpongeBob. It could be an actual episode. Basically, Plankton creates an army of robots to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, but he accidentally has the don't obey button on his machine, so all of the robots kick him out of the chum buckets. Meanwhile, SpongeBob and Patrick place a toy robot in Patrick's magic wishing shell, and they wish to have actual robots to play with. Then the next day, when SpongeBob wakes up, he finds out there's a bunch of robots destroying Bikini Bottom, and he thinks he's responsible, so with the help of Sandy and Patrick, SpongeBob sets out to save Bikini Bottom. It's a setup that feels like something out of classic SpongeBob. The levels and areas in the game. You begin the game in SpongeBob's Pineapple House. It looks just like it did in the show. It's even got the library in it. Then you go outside and get to see Conch Street, which is the main hub in the game where you select which levels you want to go to, and you can talk to Mr. Krabs, Patrick, Plankton, and Bubble Buddy. The level of knowledge about the source material to make Bubble Buddy, who was only in one episode of the series at the time the original game came out, a main character in the game. The game comes to life in the first level, Jellyfish Fields. It's vibrant. It's exactly like how I would picture Jellyfish Fields if you could walk around in it. It wasn't just a location you see a little bit of in some episodes of the show. And with the new textures and graphics in Rehydrated, it is one of the best looking levels in the whole game. And there's variety in how the level looks as well, as you go inside a cave as Patrick. And it's in this level that you face off against the first boss in the game, King Jellyfish. Then go down a fun slide. I should clarify that after Jellyfish Fields, you can choose which levels you go to before each of the other ones, and this is just the path I took when playing the game. Then you can go to downtown Bikini Bottom. This level has a very different vibe to it. Gone is the lively, vibrant feeling of Jellyfish Fields, and now you find yourself in basically a city actively being destroyed. But you also still feel like you are in downtown Bikini Bottom. The game makes you feel like SpongeBob. Those of you who know about PS4 Spider-Man will probably get the reference. Then you make your way through the building tops of downtown Bikini Bottom, which is my favorite part of the level. The views look awesome, and memes aside, it kind of does feel like I'm playing a SpongeBob version of Spider-Man PS though. Is that a strange comparison? Probably, but I stand by it. You go bungee jumping on top of the sea needle, and there's a beat 'em up type challenge at the end of the level, and yeah, this level is just as good and amazing as Jellyfish Fields in my opinion. Actually, even more awesome. I then went to the Poseidon to take King Neptune's challenge and fight the big robot Sandy. And then I went to Goo Lagoon, which is an ultimate beach themed level. Just like Jellyfish Fields, this level goes all out with the SpongeBob location in Space On. You race to the top of a giant sandcastle in the seas of Goo Lagoon. Oh hi Bubble Buddy, funny seeing you again. You go into another cave which still keeps the beach theme and is almost nothing like the cave in Jellyfish Fields. See, if this game was lazy, this could have just been a copy-paste of the Jellyfish Fields cave, but the game isn't lazy. At the end of the cave tunnel is a carnival area that feels like its own level, and I love how as you fight enemies in the carnival, the area gets even more destroyed. Then after Goo Lagoon, there's also Sand Mountain, which fully focuses on the sliding mechanic we see at the end of Jellyfish Fields, and Sand Mountain doesn't have as much fighting enemies as the other levels, but Sand Mountain is one of my favorite levels to go back to. It's very fun. Another level in the game is the Momo-Layer, the headquarters of the superheroes in SpongeBob, Mermaid Man, and Barnacle Boy, and the way it looks in the game is wicked cool. When I think of the Momo-Layer, this game's version of it is what comes to mind. Two of the biggest highlights of this level are Prawn and the Ball Challenge. Prawn is an original Mermaid Man villain, made exclusively for the original version of this game. Though he did eventually make it to the actual show, you fight him and it's a pretty simple and easy boss battle, but fun. And I would love to see an actual entire episode about Prawn. His character design and voice and everything is perfect for a SpongeBob villain. And then, there's the Ball Challenge Mr. Krabs has you do. This is one of the most challenging tasks in the whole game. It's like this big puzzle you have to solve to get a big ball from point A to point B, and even the tiniest miscalculation can make you have to try again. It took me almost an hour to do, and you don't necessarily have to do it unless you want to 100% the game, which I did. But when you actually do it, it does feel very rewarding. The rock bottom level is dark and spooky and everything you'd expect it to be, though personally my least favorite level in the game. You fight against a giant robot Patrick at the industrial park from the one episode Pre-Hibernation Week, and fittingly, in this boss battle, you play as Sandy Cheeks. I wonder if that was a conscious decision when the original game was being made, or if they just figured, in the robot Sandy boss battle you play as Patrick, so in the robot Patrick one, you should play as Sandy. Anyways though, then after beating Robot Patrick, the level I played was the Dream level, which... okay, like I said, Jellyfish Fields is one of the best looking levels in the game, but this is the best looking one. Like a video game version of the episode Sleepy Time, in the Dream level, you basically play as SpongeBob as you travel through other characters' dreams. Sandy's dream area is a super cool, big slide, which is floating above Texas. Squidward's dream is kinda like an obby, for you Roblox players out there, where you jump on top of a bunch of floating music notes. For some reason I kinda suck at making these jumps, but something I don't suck at is Mr. Krabs' dream, which is a beat 'em up type challenge, and in my humble opinion, I don't think it's anywhere near as challenging as people make it out to be. And then the final dream area is Patrick's dream. It's very funny, so I'm not... I just bit my tongue. It's very funny, so I'm not gonna spoil it. After doing that, I saved the Krusty Krab from a ton of robots. In the Dutchman's graveyard, you travel through a bunch of bright green ooze and ghost pirate ships. And then you fight the Flying Dutchman, which is one of the coolest SpongeBob characters a game can choose as an enemy. Though, it's also one of the easiest boss battles, and I wish it was a bit more challenging. Still pretty awesome though. The final level in the game, not including boss battles, is Kelp Forest. The way Purple Lamp handled the Kelp Forest level in Rehydrated is very praiseworthy. In the original version of the game, this was my least favorite level, because it was just so unnecessarily dark. You can't see where you're going. But in this game, it's vibrant, it's colorful. You can actually see why SpongeBob characters would go camping there. In the level, there's a big tiki collecting challenge for Mr. Krabs, which can take a bit of time, and the kelp cave has a lot of backtracking, but it's not until you leave the kelp cave that the most difficult area in the level makes its presence known. The kelp slide is another challenge in the game that's pretty infamous because it's another wicked challenging one to beat and can take a while to do so, like Mr. Krabs' bottle challenge. So when I beat the kelp slide in the live stream, I got a little excited. Hell yeah, it is! Whoa! Yeah! Take that! The most challenging sliding challenge in the game, and I beat it with 20 seconds to spell. Yeah! That is why they call me Cartoon Post. Then there's the final boss battle of the game, which I actually did an amazing live playthrough of. If you don't watch any of the other live streams I did of the game, at least check out the live stream where I beat the final boss. That was a really good playthrough of the boss battle. Anyways though, the final boss battle is actually split up in two parts. The first one has you fight against a giant robot SpongeBob while avoiding his karate gloves and getting shot at by a robot plankton. Then, you go inside robot SpongeBob in the second part of the boss battle. You fight a bunch of enemies as robot plankton follows you around, still shooting at you, and you take down robot SpongeBob from the inside. It's very cinematic. It makes for an ultimate grand finale for the game.
Now, next time, reinstall the game, do a whole stream of you playing through the whole game without dying once. Let's see that.
Well, I don't even have to reinstall it. I can just make a different save file. But, like, I'm not gonna do that.
Make a different save file, beat the whole game without dying in one single stream.
Well, I don't... Well, I could try to, like, speedrun it. Shut up. I could try speedrunning it. I don't really know how to speedrun, but I could, like, watch videos. There's, like, an entire speedrunning community around this game on YouTube. Like, look up the YouTuber Shift. Like, some people, like, speedrun this game. Like, this game, like, takes, like, at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 hours to play. But some people, like, speedrun it to beat it in, like, 10 minutes. What truly makes this game a celebration of SpongeBob is the love for the series, which could also be said about the original game, but even more so rehydrated in my opinion. This isn't just a video game with SpongeBob characters sloppily added to it, like the Activision games, which were absolute cash grabs. This is a SpongeBob game, both versions of it. From the fighting moves, to the level design, and the music, and the story, and to the level of care that went into making the original game not just another cheap licensed game, and then making Rehydrated a faithful remake of the game, and one that reimagines it for a new audience of SpongeBob fans who love the look and feel of modern SpongeBob, and makes the game in many ways better, even if the game is a bit comedically buggy at times. Like this one time when I was playing the game on the PS4, and I meant to go back to the hub area, and somehow I did so as Patrick, and so, of course, I went to meet Patrick in front of his rock, and what is going on? And there's also the references. This game is just an awesome experience for SpongeBob fans. What more needs to be said? That was an actual question, by the way. What do you guys think of this game? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to like, share, and subscribe.
Now you fucking suck. You fucking suck. I saw that. You suck.
Oh, okay.
Imagine. That looks like such an easy level.
No, it is easy, and that's why I'm gonna beat it this time. Well, actually, I already beat it. I'm just beating it with a time challenge on now. Before I beat it not timed, now I'm beating it timed.
I actually fucking beat it. Damn, like, you're going the slow route. I can see much faster route.
Well, if you want to live stream you playing this game, you know, it is a lot easier to play a game if you're not, like, trying to be entertaining while doing it.
No, not really. I can play PUBG and be still entertaining.
Well, I mean, you also don't talk for like 10 minutes while live streaming sometimes.
so. That's the part of entertaining. I shut the fuck up sometimes.
Oh, I don't really... Okay, well, that's for some people, but for the type of, like, audience that I'm aiming for, is, like, the kind that likes people who don't shut up, you know?
Oh, well, I don't think you're gonna find any of those type of people. I'm sorry, your channel's failing. Oh, God. Everybody unsubscribe.
But... I know you also saw that too, but I was also distracted though. Okay, this time I'm gonna beat it for real.
Oh, wait, you died? Oh, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. I just saw it.
Yeah, well... I was distracted.
I would've beat this first try.
No, I did beat the first try, just not on the time. I beat the first try, just not on the time challenge.
What's the time?